The impeachment battle not taking the weekend off. President Trump firing off a series of angry tweets attacking both the Democrats and a prominent member of his own party. Matt Dowd is standing by with analysis, but we're going to begin our coverage here with ABC's David Wright, who's right there at the White House. David, good morning to you.
Good morning, Dan. As another busy week in the impeachment inquiry begins, the president is sending a warning to any Republicans who might be tempted to break ranks. This weekend, he has sought to make an example of Mitt Romney, who dared to criticize his conduct. Calling Mitt Romney pompous with a capital P, President Trump fired off a series of tweets blasting the Utah senator, including this: "He is a fool who is playing right into the hands of the do-nothing Democrats. Hashtag impeach Mitt Romney." Romney's offense? Calling Trump out for this comment Thursday.
China should start an investigation into the Bidens.
Romney had tweeted, "The president's brazen and unprecedented appeal to China and to Ukraine to investigate Joe Biden is wrong and appalling." He's the first Republican senator to criticize Trump's conduct directly. Last night, Susan Collins of Maine cautiously joined Romney. Collins, who faces a tough re-election fight, called the president's appeal to China completely inappropriate, but wouldn't say whether Trump was out of line pressuring Ukraine to investigate the Bidens.
I would be acting as a juror, as I did in the Clinton impeachment trial. So I don't want to prejudge the evidence. Plus, not all the evidence is in yet.
Democrats, not surprisingly, have been more vocal in their criticism, especially the Democrats running for president against Trump.
This president has basically put his own business interests, his own political interests, his own partisan interests in front of this country.
Let's be clear. Essentially, what we've got here is a walk-in indictment, walk-in in a red tie.
As the impeachment inquiry resumes, House committees expect to hear from 2 U.S. diplomats this week. Gordon Sondland, the U.S. ambassador to the EU, is scheduled to give his deposition Tuesday. Marie Yovanovitch, the former ambassador to Ukraine whom Trump recalled, scheduled to testify Friday. Secretary of State Mike Pompeo said the State Department will cooperate within limits.
There have been congressional inquiries that have harassed and abused State Department employees.
Members of Congress in both parties have been lying low during this recess, trying to see which way the wind blows, but now they're being pushed to take a stand. Democrats want to exploit the fact that many Republicans are reluctant to criticize the president. They hope to use that in their effort to retake the Senate. Meanwhile, the White House is pushing for a full House vote on impeachment, in part to force Democrats running in Trump-friendly districts to go on the record supporting impeachment. Dan?
It is a tricky political calculation for a lot of these members. David Wright, thank you very much. A lot to talk about this morning, so let's bring in our chief political analyst, Matthew Dowd. Good morning.
Morning.
So let's talk about this Trump versus Mitt Romney thing. Could attacking Mitt Romney actually be a good strategy because some other wavering Republicans in the Senate may be thinking, well, I don't want to go through what Mitt's going through right now, especially given the fact that the president is more popular than most of these senators in their own states?
Well, it has been his strategy all along. Anytime anybody goes against him, regardless of party, he attacks them and tries to push them back on this. I saw where Mitt Romney's response to this attack, this trick or tweet by the president, was sending out a picture of him and his wife with his grandkids in a pumpkin patch in the course of this. I think the problem Donald Trump has with this is if the House impeaches, it goes to the Senate, and Mitt Romney literally is a juror in the Senate to decide his fate. And my thought is always, you don't attack the jurors in such a way they're going to make the decision on your case.
Let's talk about Secretary of State Mike Pompeo. We saw him speaking a little bit in David Wright's piece there. He came out yesterday and essentially said, yes, the president did request that the leader of Ukraine investigate Joe Biden, but it wasn't about politics. We don't care about Biden so much. It's about fighting corruption. Let's take a listen to what he said.
We know exactly what we were doing there. We were trying to create a situation where it wouldn't be a corrupt government, right? We wanted to make sure that they didn't interfere in our election in 2016. We wanted to make sure that if we underwrote Javelin missile systems, something that the previous administration refused to do, we wanted to make sure that we were doing this with a government that was straight up.
Okay, so they're saying it's about corruption, not about politics. Do you buy that?
No, I mean, it strains total credibility on this. They asked the president if he's ever wanted to investigate anybody else other than his political opponent. He said, we'll have to look into that. I'll have to get back to you on that. And keep in mind one thing, Dan. The president's campaign chairman is a convicted felon. The president's vice chairman is a convicted felon. His head of the NSC is a convicted felon. And his lawyer was a convicted felon. So if he really wanted to attack corruption, you would think he would start it in his own camp.
And yet, if you look at the 538 polling average right now, the president's approval rating hasn't gone down that much in the wake of the Ukraine story. Is there a way in which being attacked by the Democrats could help him with his base?
The fascinating thing about Donald Trump since Inauguration Day is his job approval has been exceedingly stable. It doesn't rise very much, it doesn't fall very much, and it stays around 40%. We're improving economy, it doesn't go up. When all of these controversies hit him, it doesn't go down. He has a very stable level of support, which my guess he carries into 2020, which the Democrats ought to be careful about because it is a solid, stable support of him throughout.
Matthew Dowd, always great to have you right here on the set on a Saturday and Sunday morning this weekend. Thanks again. Appreciate it. And a quick programming note here. Tune into This Week later this morning. George Stephanopoulos is going to speak with two of the House leaders deeply embroiled in this impeachment battle, Democrat Hakeem Jeffries and Republican Jim Jordan, plus the Powerhouse Roundtable, of which Matthew Dowd is a part. They'll be discussing impeachment and the 2020 race. It's all coming up on This Week later this morning right here on ABC. Matt, thanks again.
Hi, everyone. George Stephanopoulos here. Thanks for checking out the ABC News YouTube channel. If you'd like to get more videos, show highlights, and watch live event coverage, click on the right over here to subscribe to our channel. And don't forget to download the ABC News app for breaking news alerts. Thanks for watching.